Okay, ladies, I just started the playlist. If you have Spotify, it is Saxo Beat, so it's kind of a fun one to get us kind of amped for handstands. But before we get into a lot of the faster movements or even our flow, let's find a nice tall seat. So go ahead and find your sit bones rooted into the earth. Roll your shoulders into your ears together and down your back. Do that about 3 times. Close your eyes. Find a huge breath in through the nose. Allow your belly to expand. And a big open mouth exhale. One more like that. Breathe in deeper if you can. And as you exhale, pull your navel towards your spine. Awesome. Before we move into Ujjayi breath, go ahead and blink your eyes open. If you have a block, go ahead and squeeze it between your hands and then extend the block out in front of you. So kind of come to this side to show you. Take your shoulders down your back and lock the shoulder bone, the arm bone, into the shoulder girdle. So you'll feel your lats engage as you hug down towards the earth. And then your hands are actively squeezing into the block, feeling your inner bicep ignite. And go ahead and take your block overhead, but make sure the shoulders didn't crunch up too far. You still have the activation of the shoulder girdle. Squeeze into the ends of your block. Breathe in, reach. And exhale, take your block right in front of you, plug the shoulders back in, okay? Now we're squeezing the block like crazy, so like you're gonna splat this block into a little, I won't say tiny bug because that's not cool, but a pancake. How's a pancake? And then take your shoulders, arms up overhead, squeeze the block, navel to spine, maybe gaze at the block here. So this is very similar to your handstand, and this is the same activation we need through the arms. Reignite the shoulder girdle down towards the floor. One more time through blocks out in front of you, squeeze, hug. And then gently take the block up overhead, maybe look up, getting that neck movement involved. So go ahead and take the block out in front of you, hold for 4, for 3, just keep squeezing, 2, and 1, release the block down. All right, I'm gonna put that back up here. Meet me in a tabletop. Shoulders over your wrists, knees under your hips, and we'll go through a couple wrist stretches just to warm up way before we even get to handstand. So go ahead and lift the palms of the hands. You're on the knuckle ridge here and pause. And then lower them back down. So the knuckle ridge being all the knuckles, the 4 knuckles for your fingers, right? We just lift the palm to find a stretch through the soft part of the forearm, but also warming up through those tiny little bones in the hands. And then lower the hands back down. One more time like that. Lift the palms of your hands, claw the floor, and then lower them back down. All right. Take the tops of your hands to the ground. Fingers point towards one another, palm face up. And just hang out here for a moment, maybe move gently forward and back. If any time this is too much in the wrist, come back, hips towards heels a little bit. Don't have to put too much weight in there. Or you can always make a closed fist and just find the mobility through the wrist bone itself. And then we'll move this into sort of a push-up. So on the inhale, lower your heart towards your open hands. And on the exhale, press up and straighten. Inhale, lower. Exhale, push up and straighten. One more time like that. Inhale to low. And exhale, straighten the arms. We're going to add on here. Make a fist with your hands. So the middle part of your fingers, from the knuckle to the second knuckle, I don't know the anatomy of the hand that well. So these guys here, press them into the ground in a fist, and then open the palm. And then squeeze into the fist, and then total hand flat to the ground. One more time. Make a fist, and then back of hand flat to the earth. All right, go ahead and come back to your tabletop. And then take your fingers towards your knees, soft part of the wrist towards the front of the room. Now this can be really intense. I'd like you to find that level of intensity that is not painful or constricting. So feel free to take your hips back towards your heels. The heels of your hands may lift a little bit, that's okay. But make sure the carpal tunnels, all those nice little areas in the wrist aren't straining or sending signals of the brain of, oh my gosh, I can't do this, right? All right, back to center. A little shoulder protraction here. Pop the back of your heart to the sky, almost like a cat back. And then gently lower your heart. Just shrug the shoulders. So we're not moving the low back at all. It's just through the shoulder girdle we find lift. Really nice, Jessica. Do that 2 more times. Press up. And then lower. Good. Inhale for cow pose. Drop your belly, lift your gaze, arch through the tailbone. Exhale, cat pose, chin to chest. Hollow out through the belly, lift your pelvic floor. Inhale, cat pose, squeeze your shoulder blades together behind your heart. And exhale, cat, hug your inner thighs together. One more on your own. Use your breath. Maybe take a little longer if you'd like. And then back to a neutral tabletop. Curl your toes under. Inhale, hover your knees off the ground for hovering tabletop for 4. Continue to squeeze at the inner thighs for 3. Protract through the shoulders for 2. And 1, downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Take a lot of time here. Some days we can come to down dog and straighten our legs, and some days we need to put a really big bend in there, and sometimes it's going to be bent for a while, and that's okay. But be able to read and scan your body rather than force yourself into a position that it sometimes takes. Maybe pedal out one knee and then the other. And then find 2 solid breaths in this downward facing dog. Inhale, lengthen from the wrists through the tailbone. And as you exhale, can you press your heels towards the earth? No need for connection. We're just finding the energetic pull. Inhale, gaze forward between your thumbs. Exhale, forward fold. Take a bunch of tiny little steps to get there. Maybe you bend your knees a lot at the top because we're still warming up. And find your first ragdoll. Hollow out through the belly, bend your knees a lot. Allow the crown of the head to be super duper heavy. And then maybe sway forward and back into your feet. Maybe begin to play with straightening the legs ever so slightly, not a lot, just a little. There's tons of forward folds in our practice. We'll have time to get there. Find stillness in your ragdoll. Take your hands behind your low back for chest expansion, palms touch, roll your shoulders towards your ears and then towards the sky. And that might be enough right here. If you'd like a little more, leave the bend in your elbow. Begin to draw your fist towards the sky. Breathe deeply as you open through the heart, open through the shoulder heads. Then as slowly as you can, release your fingers towards the earth. Heel toe your feet together, big toes connect, leave a little space through the heels. Bend your knees, chin to your chest. Inhale, slowly rise to stand, stacking vertebra upon vertebra. Head's the last thing to lift. Take your hands by your side, slip your palms towards the front of your room, and take a moment here to find your breath. Find your balance through your feet. We select an intention in our yoga practice every time, and it's really personal to each individual student. So ladies, I'd like you to select whatever intention you need today. I'm going to offer up this idea of hope. Hope in everything. Find a big breath in. And then open mouth exhale. Inhale, love and light for all. Exhale, love and light for yourself. Ujjayi, breath in. And a victorious breath out. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Lift your hands high up overhead and breathe. For today's Tadasana variation, flip your palms behind you. So you notice the internal rotation of the arm bone actually helps you strengthen through the side bodies because we flip the palms back and then we need to hug the shoulders down and feel how the outside of your armpits just lit up there. Really important, the outside of the armpits for your handstand. Your lats, they're called. Breathe in. Exhale, vertical twist to the right. Open your heart towards the right side of the room and take your elbows into a goal pose. Find your breath. Before we talk about the upper body, let's talk about the lower body. Make sure the right hip presses forward so we're nice and level. It was just the mid-spine that rotated. I'm talking about the lat muscles for our handstand practice. Energize your elbows down towards the earth so you feel those wings fire up. Inhale, mountain pose, palms still flip back. Exhale, vertical twist to the left and breathe. Wrap your left shoulder down your back as you press your left hip forward. Energize your inner thighs towards one another. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, gentle back bend. You can take it to a goal post. You can take the hands behind your head. What's really important is that our low back is supported. So hug your inner thighs together, outer hips squeeze towards the midline, and then lift your heart away from your hip tips. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, ride the breath down. Flat spine. Inhale, high halfway lift, hands to your shins or to your quads. Hug your elbows into your rib cage and press your heart forward. Breathe in. Exhale, high plank. Hands under your shoulders, step back left foot, then right foot, and breathe. Always welcome to come down to your knees for your high planks. Activate the back line of your legs, your posterior chain. Press your heels back, hug your inner thighs together, and then maybe you felt your outer hips light up when you did that. Protract the shoulders, pop the heart back. Inhale, hinge forward, shoulders past your fingers. Exhale all the way down to the ground, as slow and controlled as you can. Baby cobra, flip your toenails to the earth, press your hip bones down. Energize your legs so much your kneecaps lift. Inhale, lift, baby bhujangasana. Just the back of the heart lifts ever so slightly off the ground. Press your hip tips down, roll your shoulders back. Take one more breath in for length and lift. Exhale, gently lower. 2 times your breath, your movement. Allow the inhale to elevate the heart off the ground. And the exhale to gently roll the heart back down. Last one. Exhale, gently release. Inhale, tabletop or all fours. Elbows hug in as you rise. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath to movement through our sun A. Nice and simple today, so really pay attention to your breath. Really pay attention to your form. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step forward for forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, strong legs, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, press down, reach tall, palms to the back. Exhale, vertical twist to the right, hug your elbows down. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, vertical twist to the left, squeeze. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, gentle back bend. It can be just an ever so slight lift of the heart. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, ride it down. Nice, Susan. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank and breathe. Squeeze your hip tips towards one another. Let's talk about the bandhas here. So super important in our handstand and inversion practice. Squeeze your sit bones together to activate Muladhara Bandha. That's your root lock. Then pull your navel lightly towards your spine and then up towards your heart. So we've got both abdominal locks, 2 abdominal locks, nice and engaged. Now keep your breath. That's what it should feel like when we're upside down. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground, nice and softly. Reach your arms long in front of you for Superman arms. Option to keep your toes to the ground, or you can lift them as we exhale. So on the inhale, we lengthen, reach forward. Exhale, find a lat pull, elbows and goalpost. Option to lift your feet. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze, activating the side bodies, activating the low spine. Keep your kneecaps lifted. One more time. Inhale, reach forward. And exhale, squeeze back. Lift your heart just a little higher. Really nice work. And then gently lower, chin to the mat. Inhale, high plank or all fours. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Let it go. Inhale, look between your thumbs. Exhale, forward fold. Left foot steps, right foot. When you step forward, try to alternate the leading foot, okay? Inhale, halfway lift. Pull your navel in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Sweep it high. Exhale, lateral twist to the right. Right hip tip forward. Inhale, mountain. Exhale to the left. Left hip comes forward. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, Anavattasana, gentle back bend, heart towards the sky. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Exhale, high plank. Now, think of those locks. Think of the activation. Think of hollowing out through the armpits and protracting the shoulders. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. We'll find a or a prone handstand. So kind of like Superman, but the toes stay down and your palms flip like you're actually putting your hands onto the sidewall, yeah? Look between your thumbs. And then from here, press your tailbone into the earth, lower your rib cage towards your hip tips, and energize your belly up and away from the ground like it was going to lift off the floor. It may not, and that is okay. We just want to find that upward lift. Hold for 4. For 3, lift your hands off the ground. For 2, and 1. So we just did a handstand. Nice work. Hands under your shoulders. Inhale, high plank or all fours. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your thumbs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Bend your knees, reach tall. Continue with your breath. Feel free to take your hands to your hips, level them out, maybe sit a little lower. Find yourself in that place, the balance between effort and ease, right? We don't want to be hard right knuckling in our chair pose every single time, maybe sometimes. But find that place where you're working, but you're still able to breathe smoothly. And then add on to your chair with handstand arms. So we're going to flip our palms away from us and like we're in a handstand, okay? We're going to keep the palms and the wrists in the same position. And on the exhale, move into chair plane. We're just paddling through the water, yeah? Palms face up, sit a little lower. Squeeze your thumbs towards one another. Roll your shoulders down and back. Inhale, handstand arms, press away through the air. Exhale, airplane arms, palms up. Inhale, handstand arms. Exhale, chair plane. Let's do one more for good measure. Inhale, handstand arms. Navel to spine. Exhale, reverse airplane arms. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high to low plank. Option for an up dog, option for a cobra, option to hold the plank. If you're moving forward into low plank, elbows into the rib cage. Inhale, upward facing dog, lifted knees, squeeze your outer hips in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feel free to take all of those out. Feel free to take a couple out. They're all optional. Inhale, three-leg dog, right heel rises. Pause and breathe. Dial your right inner knee towards the sky to close the hips. Activate the right toes. Breathe in. Exhale, knee to nose. Breathe. Hug your knee into your chest. Roll to your left tippy toes and protract the shoulders. Inhale, three-leg dog. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over the wrist. Step through low lunge softly. And then bend and straighten here, just a little. About 3 times with your breath. And then come back to your low lunge on the next exhale. Inhale, crescent moon, left knee down, arms reach to the sky, and settle in. Maybe you lunge a little deeper into the right knee. Leave your left toes curled under to support your left knee. Press your left hip forward, your right hip back, and see if you can engage your right outer hip and your left, so we're not just hanging out in any posture, right? We want the hips and low back to be nice and stabilized and supported. Breathe in. Exhale, half split, Ardha Hanuman. Take your hands down, glide your right heel forward, and breathe. If you'd like to use your block here, maybe you're tight or maybe it's just hard to reach the ground, you can take your block to the outside or inside of your right knee. Press your right heel down and then squeeze it back towards you if you need a little more sensation. And if you feel pulling in your knee or right where the sit bone attaches to the hamstrings, please bend your knee even more. Your next add-on here will be to take your hands into airplane arms. And I want this to be about the hug of the inner thighs together. So when we move upside down, it's really hard to remember what our legs are doing. Sometimes we're just all over the place. The inner thigh engagement, leg engagement is super important. So I want you to hug and squeeze your adductors together. Nice work. Take your hands down. Inhale, low lunge. Lift your left knee. Spider tip both of your fingers and find a big breath out. Inhale, crescent lunge. Power through the legs. Bend your left knee softly and settle in here. Are your hips level to the front of the room? Can you lengthen your tailbone towards the earth, maybe bending your left knee even more? Squeeze your left outer hip, your right outer hip, and then arms return to the sky. Reach your fingertips high, but keep your shoulders heavy. Inhale. Exhale, vertical twist to the right, goalpost, arms. Maybe you bend your knee a little bit more. Now, not just moving the arms into goalpost and chilling, we're hugging them down so the side bodies stay engaged. Also needs to be engaged in your handstand, right? Inhale, warrior 2, sweep it around to the left, adjust your left leg, and then surf it out through the right foot. Lift your right hip a little higher so that there's a nice long line from hip tip to hip tip, even through the back. Relax your toes, relax your jaw, but energize through your fingers. Breathe in. Exhale, extended side angle reach, and then arms go north and south. Breathe. As you press your right knee open, can you engage your right outer hip as you squeeze your heels together so the inner thighs fire up? Inhale, reverse warrior, right hand high. Shift your hips ever so gently so that they're still in a line. You can gaze up at your right hand, down at your left foot, but press your left inner thigh down towards the earth. Inhale. Exhale, high to low plank, windmill down. Step back without a noise if you can. Option to chaturanga or not. Inhale, upward facing dog. Roll your shoulders back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. Inhale, three-leg dog. Left heel rises. Pause. Dial your left pinky toe down. Hug your left outer hip in. Breathe in. Exhale, knee to nose. Drive your heart forward. Gaze between your hands. Are you on your right tippy toes? Can you press forward a little more? Inhale, three-leg dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Hollow the belly out. Hug the knee in. Low lunge. 3 breaths to bend and straighten. A little inventory, seeing how it's going. And then come back to your low lunge, breath out. Inhale, crescent moon, rise. Find that settle, your adjustments, ladies, you know, if you need that moment, take it. I always recommend it, just sometimes we're not entirely sure. Sometimes we nail it, sometimes we don't. I don't know, it's always better just to make sure we're nice, safe, and set up. Breathe in. Exhale, half splits. Glide your left heel forward, left toes rise. And play around for a moment before we add the arm variation. So left hip comes slightly forward. Squeeze your inner thighs towards one another, right? Before we even add the challenge, I want you to think wrapping them in together. And then option to have your airplane arms, a lot of control through the lower body. Hug your hips together. I'm going to keep saying that because it's a huge part of keeping stability and our low back safe. Good. Inhale, low lunge, fingers down, crawl forward, lift your right knee. Spider tip your fingers, press your left hip back, your right hip forward. Inhale, crescent lunge. Find that moment to bend and straighten. Oop. Find space through the vertebra as you lift the crown of your head higher, right? So we want this nice long spine. Ensure your tailbone is not sticking towards the back of the room, rather roping towards the earth. Inhale. Exhale, lateral twist to the left. Hover your right knee off the ground. That might feel better in your back. It will give you a little more of a challenge for sure. Roll your left shoulder down. Spread your fingers wide. Inhale, warrior two. Find your adjustment and surf. Yeah. I can tell it's getting warmer. When we started doing these online classes, it was snowing and I was freezing in here, and now it's birded up. So just taking a moment to acknowledge. All right, seal your fingers towards one another. Squeeze your heels together, roll your shoulders down your back, breathe in. Exhale, extended side angle reach, and tick-tock, right? So acknowledge any new sensations that arose. So I know my left inner thigh is super duper tight, and I definitely just felt it there. Give yourself a nice little mental scan, notice where you felt more, and not judging it, just noticing, because that might it might change some of your poses for sure, okay? Just take a note. Inhale, reverse warrior. Left hip up, left hand up, gaze up or gaze down. Can you turn on your right outer hip for me? Inhale. Exhale, high to low plank, windmill down, step back softly, quietly. Move through the chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in, ladies. And an open mouth exhale. Ujjayi, breath in. And then Ujjayi, breath out. We'll slow breath to movement and then add on. Inhale, three-leg dog, right heel rises. Exhale, low lunge. Think knee to nose, but plant the foot. Inhale, crescent moon. Left knee down, arms up. Exhale, half split. If you want to add the arms, you can, or use your fingers to the ground. Inhale, crawl forward, low lunge, lift your knee. Exhale, rise. Inhale, rise for crescent, pardon me. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle, long side bodies. Let your obliques help you stay lifted. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, high to low, breath to movement. If you need more breath to take you down, slow the movement down to match. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, three-leg dog, left heel lift. Exhale, low lunge through knee to nose, tidal wave forward. Inhale, crescent moon, softly with the back knee. Exhale, half split, option for the hands or not, but squeeze the inner thighs. Inhale, low lunge. Find your breath out, firm the belly in. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, vertical twist to the left. Your challenge is to hover the right knee. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, take it on through, meeting in downward facing dog. However you'd like to get there. Breath in wherever you are. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's add on. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, forward fold. Walk, step, or jump. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Breathe for a moment. Flip your palms like you were in handstand. Sit a little lower. Hug your inner thighs together. And then the thigh glute will turn on. Since we're in the squatted chair, when the inner thighs fire, we feel that little area that might be hard to get nice and active, the thigh glute, thigh butt, whatever it is. It's another application of the leg muscles that will really help in inversion, right? So find that engagement. And next time we're in handstand, let's think about it after we think of everything else, right? Breathe in. Exhale, airplane arms. Nice, Susan. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk your feet back like two steps. Hands down to the ground. You have 3 donkey kicks. They can be tiny, they can be big. So grasp the floor like crazy. Come to your tippy toes and then press into your hands. Hop heels to glute. Hop heels to glute. Hop glute. You have 3 of those. That's it. Nice. Yes. Good work. I like it. 3. Halfway lift in 2. And 1. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high to low plank. Or if that was a lot of cardio, feel free to hold the high plank. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right heel for 3-leg dog. Listen, bend your right knee. Not opening the hip. We keep the right hip in line with the left. Pulse right heel to glute. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, 3-leg dog. Exhale, low lunge. Good. Inhale, crescent moon. Left knee down, arms high. And we'll find a finger drill, a hand drill for handstand. Star fingers, I don't know if you've heard of that. So really as fast as you can, all 4 fingers come to the thumb, but they're overhead. Go faster. Star fingers, yes you can, for 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, spread your fingers. Woo, my hands are buzzing. Exhale, crescent lunge, airplane arms. Breathe. First time here, we'll just take a breath. Solidify the stance. Left hip forward, right hip back. Inhale, warrior 3. Use your left toes to launch forward, hands in front of you as counterweight. And find your breath. Feel free to take your hands behind you for airplane or hands to heart center. If balance is a challenge today, you can add on the arms later, okay? I'm just out of screen, so I'll keep my hands to heart center. Bend your right knee, pack your outer hip in. Relax your toes. Let the main part of the foot do the work here. Inhale. Exhale, standing splits. Hands to the earth or your handy-dandy block if you've got it. So square the hips up first, just like our down dog kick. Find a little pulse with your left heel to the sky. Lift, lift. Exhale, exhale. Flare your toes for 4, 3. Standing split 2 and 1. Inhale, half lift, standing split. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Back to our flow for a moment. Hello, right outer hip. Exhale, vertical twist to the right. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Left inner thigh presses down. Listen here. Exhale, low lunge. Low lunge. Inhale, standing split. Yes, we've been here. We're going to add on with a drill. I would recommend either walking your hands a couple steps forward or taking your maybe 2 steps back with your right foot. Moving into toe rolls, we come from the right heel and roll onto the right toes as we press weight forward and we roll back. So we roll to the toes, hands Get the weight, and then we roll back. So it's this gentle rolling forward and back. You have the option to add a little leg pulse with the left leg, and that kind of mimics the lift that we need up for handstand. So they're just toe rolls. We'll get into swing and L hops in a moment. You have 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, standing split, half lift. Exhale, low lunge, left leg back. Inhale, high plank. Option for chaturanga or nataranga. Inhale. Nice, Jessica. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, 3-leg dog. Left heel rises. Level through the hips. Exhale, heel to glute and squeeze. Pulse. Press evenly through both hands, please. Lift through the right inner thigh for length. Last 2 and 1. Inhale, 3-leg dog. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, crescent moon. Arms up. Star hands, really fast. Nice way to warm up the wrists, all the bones in the fingers. Walking on our hands or standing on our hands isn't exactly the most natural thing for the human body. So we want to make sure we're appropriately warmed up and strong. Last 2 and 1. Crescent moon. Exhale, crescent lunge, airplane arms. Power through your right leg. Pause and breathe. Lift your heart away from the ground, but keep a 45-degree angle from your heel through the crown of your head. Inhale, warrior 3, launch. Yeah, maybe find the variation you took on the first side. It's totally fine to bend your left knee a little bit or a lot to try to get the muscle activation. Rather than hanging out in the bone structures of the hip and the knee, we want to find lift, and the muscles help us do that. Navel to spine. Inhale, reach. Exhale, standing splits, hands down. Take this moment just to kind of settle in. You know where we're going, so this is just kind of a preview for you to get this left hamstring nice and open. Pulse your right heel up, up, up. Exhale, exhale. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, half lift spine. Exhale, low lunge. Heading back into our flow. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, extended side angle. All that left inner thigh. Woo! Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Back into our toe rolls. Inhale, standing split. Walk your hands forward away from the foot or walk the foot back and roll to the toes, roll to the heel. Roll to the toes, roll to the heel. So it might be pretty uncomfortable to put your shoulders past your fingers, but that's what we do in our chaturanga, and that's what we need to do in our handstand inversion practice to find the lift. So think roll toe, kick up. Roll to the toe, kick up. There you go. All right, for 4. Nice, Jessica, that's it. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, standing split, half lift. Exhale, low lunge, right foot back. Inhale, high plank, shift forward. Exhale, high to low. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Huge breath in. Open mouth, exhale. 2 more, breathe in. Let it go. All right. Walk your hands towards your feet. Hands towards your feet. Back of the mat. We'll walk to the front of our mat using a handstand press drill, okay? This is a very simple handstand press drill, but it's how I'm learning. So hands come, I'm going to say, a foot in front of you. We will roll shoulders past fingers, to your tippy toes, just like that toe roll, until we feel our feet lift. And your feet may not lift the first couple times you do that, and that is okay. What it may even look like is something like this, and then you, and then walk forward. That is okay. The more you practice this, the more it'll make sense in your body, the more your hamstrings will open, the more moving past your fingertips won't be so awkward and scary. And one day, maybe we tap our toes to our wrists. Maybe. Don't worry too much about it today. We're just walking to the front of the mat. All right. Find yourself in frog pose. I gotta move my mat out a little bit. It has shifted. Heels on the mat, toes off. Hands heart center. This is not good for your knees. Please find a block and take some of that pressure off your knees, okay? From here, we're chilling, but we'll find a handstand drill before our core. All of this has been core, but we're going to drill it home, okay? So from here, I'll face you. Like that. So from our frog pose, hands come down. I'll find an even surface. Hands come down. And then they're frog hops. I should have said the name of them first, right? So we kick heels to glute, kind of like that donkey kick we did, but this is a wide leg. So it's a little forward, kick heels to glute, and a little back. Forward, glute. I'll change direction. Yeah, Jessica, nice. Yes, Susan, saw that. Nice job. Yes, ladies, you're killing it. A little kick. That's it. For 4, for 3. Nice. 2, and 1. Go ahead and have a seat. Ladies, I love it. Way to work. I'll take a little bit of water. So sometimes we do these drills, and trust me, the first time I did some of these drills, there's no way I don't know how this pertains to handstand. The more you do them, the more lift you feel, the more activation, the more opening. And over time, with consistent practice, it'll begin to make some sense. I'm still at the beginning part. Okie doke. So, supine handstand. It's our low boat. Feel free to grab a block if you want to up the ante a little bit and add a little resistance. So, our hands, everything's down. So it's just like we're relaxing, right? Now, heels on the ground, hands on the ground, we're chilling. Maybe take a full body stretch because that feels really good right about now. Oh, all right. Zip up your inner thighs. You can point your toes, you can flex your toes. I find it easier in a handstand. I kind of waffle between both, but pointed usually gets a little more activation for me. You can squeeze your block in your hands, or you can just face your hands towards one another like you had that block at the beginning of class, okay? If you have low back stuff, I just want you to lift your shoulders off the earth first, okay? It's just like a centimeter. It's not up here. It's just the shoulders have peeled off the mat. If your low back feels okay, hug your inner thighs together, lift your feet off the mat a little, or if your low back was like, whoa, you can find a lot of lift. This is our supine handstand. It's not a straight handstand, that's okay. If you come down here, it's more of a straight handstand, that's all right. I want you to hold, I want you to squeeze. Lift your pelvic floor, squeeze your sit bones together. Pull your navel towards your spine and then up towards your heart for 4, 3. Yes, you can. Squeeze your hips together, 2, and 1. Come on down. So just even holding, not even moving and holding that supine handstand does wonders for your body and the engagement that it needs to be upside down, okay? Let's do that one more time before we move on, okay? Just one more time. Squeeze the block. Maybe if you squeeze the block between your hands, you want to move it to your feet this time, or your calves, between your calves, to get that more mind-body connection of what really needs to be fired, okay? So palms face one another. Lift your shoulders off the earth just a little. Lift your feet off the earth just a little. Hold. Squeeze in. Navel to spine. 4. Low ribs in. 3, 2. And 1. Come on down. Whew. There you go. And what's really the challenge of handstand is taking all of that knowledge into an inversion. With time, right? With time. All right, take your knees to 90 degrees. You can leave your hands down by your sides, by your hips. So feet to reverse tabletop. Navel to spine, low back stays on the ground. Gently lower your heels towards the earth. Exhale, bring them back up. Inhale, lower the heels slowly towards the earth. Exhale, bring it back up. So it's like a reverse crunch, but we're getting a lot more control. Feel that low, low belly engage. So we also want that turned on, right? We want the TVA, poke yourself right in between the obliques and the rec ab, and your TVA can kind of be felt there. So get the TVA fired, obliques are fired, your QLs are firing, your low, low belly firing for 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Find a full body stretch, Ugh, yikes, all right. Legs up the wall, shoulders off the earth. Hover your left leg off the ground, take your arms to the right side of your right quad and hold. Kind of like a Pilates move, right? But we're gonna have a static hold. Sometimes they're way more effective, right? You can lower your left heel to the ground, but can you lift your right shoulder even higher? We're gonna reach pulse for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Legs up the wall, keep your shoulders lifted. Reach, pulse up, up. Exhale, exhale. Last two, taking it to the left in one. Hover your right leg off the ground, twist it over to the left and breathe. Lift your left shoulder. Keep everything glued in as much as it wants to like jump out of your body because it's like, I don't want to work anymore. Keep it pulled in and nice and tight, okay? Pulse for 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, legs up the wall. Shoulders down, head down. Lower your legs. Make sure your low back stays to the ground until you find that moment of, uh-oh. Hold it there. For 4, for 3, for 2. Little flutter kicks, flutter kicks. One leg at a time, kicking like we're in the pool. Soon we will be right for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1 all the way down. Full body stretch. Ooh. Knees into your chest, roll side to side. And then rock and roll your length of your spine. Come to a seat. One more little core drill before we move into more handstand drills. So we did this last week in class. I just think it's to have as tight as our shoulders are and as unengaged as our cores can be. I just think it's a really phenomenal movement. So we'll move to a reverse tabletop. Fingers point towards your heels. Press your hips up. Lift your hips in line with your shoulders and your knees. And then feel your delts. Those are your shoulder heads, your chaturanga muscles. They shouldn't be your only chaturanga muscles, but they seem to get the brunt of it. They're nice and open, yeah? All right, we'll move right from here. So your hands and your feet stay the same. We swing the booty back to an L sit and hold. Lift the booty up for 4. Back to your bridge 3, or tabletop 2, 1. Press the hips up. 2. Let's do that again. Slide the hips through the hands. Hover the booty off the ground for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. If you have 2 blocks at home, another awesome drill are your L sits. We've talked about them in class before. Just a really quick reminder. We don't have enough time to go through them today. Your homework, my homework, I do it pretty often. To press down, lift your booty off the ground, and then maybe march it out, 1 foot at a time, 1 foot at a time. Send your booty way back. Maybe one day we lift both feet off the ground. Maybe. We'll see. You've got to practice, though. You have to practice. All right. So our drill for handstand today, we did a lot of variations. We did a belly down variation. We did a belly up variation. We did standing split variation. We did little hops. So I'll talk more around the L hops just because it's kind of more exciting part of it. In my mind, is how I learned to do it. And just before I move into that L hop, we start learning from a place that most of us start learning from a place of flinging ourselves up against the wall and hoping we stick. And if you're lacking the strength for handstand, that's a great idea to move over to the wall, keep your feet on the wall, and hang out by the wall. The problem is with keeping your legs on the wall for too long, we begin to count on it for balance. We use the wall for strength. And then when we get to the middle of a room to do a handstand, then we're all over the place because we're totally freaked out. It's our crutch, right? So with the strength of your handstand, if you're still working, to hold it, you're shaking through the shoulders, come to a wall, and you can flail up to the wall. Flail up to the wall, put your feet on, and hang out. That's where you stay. So I'm not in a straight line, and that's okay. I'm working on shoulder strength, right? Pressing away from the ground, hugging my inner thighs together, working my low glutes, and that is a great place to hang out. But for our L hops, think of your toe rolls, those little toe rolls we did. So it's just that gentle roll forward and back. You might think, how is this ever going to get me to handstand? Well, eventually one day, the upper leg becomes strong to actually do the lift. So we're not swinging the bottom leg to get there, although we might swing the bottom leg to get there. We want it to be nice and controlled up. Nice and lift. Okay? And then, so once you get kind of used to those L hops, you might stick it, you might not stick it. What I found in my practice is that when we have one knee bent, and we both have heard it in class before, when we have the lower leg bent, we lower the center of gravity, so balancing might become a little easier. So how that looks is we've got the lower leg bent, right? So this guy Then I'm toe rolling. I'm going to press up and bend the knee. I'm not just bending my knee, I'm squeezing it into my chest, just like our knee to nose, right? In our down dog kick, leg up, knee to nose. So it's pulled into the body. So you won't likely get your knee to your nose in a handstand. If you do, that's phenomenal. That's amazing. But think of that same pull of the knee into the torso, okay? A couple more minutes just to play around. After, please ask questions. Like if there's any other drill that you have questions about. These frog hops are super fun because it's somehow, for some people, easier to balance with frog legs. So that spring up, let me see, my shoulders are now spent. It's a different disbursement of gravity through the body. So for some people, that might be easier to get that hang time to figure out, oh, I need to tighten here, I need to do that here, or, yeah. Nice. We'll take it down to the ground in 4, in 3, and remember 2 and 1. Remember, you have to practice this. If you do want to proceed with your handstand, you have to practice every day, not just 1 hour a week. Sorry. I thought I would get there. I practiced for 10 years and thought I'll only practice handstand once a week, and I never got there. Weird, right? So weird. Downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Find a big breath in. Let it go. Inhale, right leg high for 3-leg dog. Exhale, right knee, right shoulder. Squeeze out and around. And land in your runner's lunge. Heel on that toe off. If you've got your blocks and you'd like to plant them under your forearms, you can. If you've got a block, you want to put it under your knee, feel free. Make this feel good. Make this feel really good. Option to come down to your back knee. I find that over time it changes, the post, what I need changes in the variation, right? So for a long time I had to keep my back knee up to feel anything through the hip flexor, and some days I have to put the knee down to feel anything. It's just kind of weird. So really listen, and your body will tell you where you need it. You just have to tune in. You have to listen. Nice. Let's take this into a quad stretch. So lower your left knee to the ground. Squeeze your left heel towards your glute. And this might be your quad stretch today. Okay, I know I'm already feeling it. If you want a little more, you have access to reach your back foot. Then swing your arm back and around and lightly grab the ankle or the toes. Rather than cranking the heel into the glute, it's a gentle suggestion with that hand to pull in. And then squeeze your left outer glute in. So we have a tendency to just dump down into the left hip flexor here, but this should be more about the quad. So squeeze into your left glute, pull your heel in, whoop, there's the quad. I feel it. Really nice. Slowly release your left toes to the earth. And then come into your runner's lunge. Find a halfway lift spine in your runner's lunge. Exhale, prosarita to the left side of the room. And I'll come around the other side so I'm not mooning you. And take a moment with a flat spine here. Okay, make sure your feet are parallel to the edges of your mat. Maybe a little hip dip left to right. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge to the front. Inhale, 3-leg dog. Exhale, scorpion tail down dog. Maybe roll your knee clockwise, counterclockwise. Inhale, 3-leg. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg for 3-leg dog. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Hold, squeeze. Runner's lunge. And then set yourself up the same way you did on the other side. Make sure your breath is still going. Sometimes we get here, we kind of bask in the, sometimes it's a bask, sometimes we get and that sensation comes up and we're like, oh, wow. And then we've held our breath and the sensation becomes very loud and obnoxious, right? Right knee down, quad stretch. Whether you can grab the foot or not a big deal. We're just looking for that gentle quad stretch. Pack your right outer hip in to get into the quadriceps rather than hanging out in the hip flexor even more, right? Good. Without slingshotting right toes, gently come down to the earth. Find a halfway lift in your runner's lunge, knee up. Exhale, Purasarita to the right. And you can take a deeper fold if you'd like on this side. If you'd like a chest expansion on this side, you absolutely can, but do make sure your elbows are bent. If you'd like to move through a little bit of Skandasana side to side, you can. Kind of a yogi free-for-all here. This is a great opportunity for you to tap in to what your body's asking for. If you've done something asymmetrical, go ahead and even that out now. Inhale, flat back for half lift. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, three-leg dog. Exhale, scorpion tail. Stack your left hip over your right. Squeeze your left heel towards your glute. Maybe rotate the knee. Inhale, three-leg dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back towards your toes. Guess what? We're going to find those handstand walks to the front of the mat before our cool down. Just one more opportunity since our hamstrings are nice and open now. Hands about 6 inches in front of your toes. Roll to your tippy toes as you roll to the pads of your fingers. Hinge forward. There we go. Maybe one day, right? Hopefully, maybe. Forward. One more time. It's up, and down. There we go. Come on down to your seat. Nice. Good work. Good work. A little more water. Whew. And there are so many other handstand drills out there that you can get into. It's just hard to kind of get the body warmed up and then pack them all into one class. So if you have questions about it, if there's any more, I can point you in a direction. There's just so many. There are so many good ones too. So for our hip opener today, let's find fire log, double pigeon. So first will be the left leg. Take it parallel to the top of your mat, strong flex into that foot. And then hug your right knee up and around your right rib cage. Flex your right toes first. And then ever so gently grab the knife edge of your right foot. Place that on top of your left knee. So rather than sickling the foot, notice how it just relaxed and now the foot's at this kind of angle. Over time, that's really going to mess with the foot, the ankle, parts of the shin, okay? Go ahead and readjust your foot so that it's sitting on top of the knee. And if that means there's a lot of space between your left foot and your right knee, that is okay. If it doesn't feel excellent, you can grab that block and place it, okay? Never try to force or crank the knee to meet the foot. And if you would like a little more sensation and you're high on your sit bones, you can begin to hinge forward. There it is. Keep your back really flat and keep your breath smooth and even. All right, gently, shoulders back over hips. Rather than slingshotting the foot away from you, gently, lovingly grab it, extend the leg out, both legs out, little shake. And then the other side. Right shin parallel to the top of your mat, flare your right toes like crazy. Hug your left knee into your left armpit, flare the toes before you even move the knee or leg on that pigeon shape. And then knife edge of left foot comes to the top of the right knee. Same thing, if you need a block, feel free. I've seen blocks under the right knee too. If you've got really tight hips, there's ways to modify this. Remember, it should not hurt, okay? Shoulders up, heart high. And then if you'd like to hinge forward, you absolutely can. And sometimes we might find a side that we actually like to hang out longer on, and this would be my side. Feel free to take that time until you feel the release that your other side has, or you feel that equanimity. Sometimes one side needs a little longer, and that's fine, and that's a great, great place to be because you know you're listening to your body. So if you ever feel a need in any class to hang out just a little bit longer, all right, gently come back up. Lovingly release your left leg and foot. Extend, extend, Shake, shake, shake. Feel free to grab your block as we come on down to our back. Let's find a supported bridge for a moment. So walk your feet close. They don't have to be super close to your seat. Press your low back into the ground and lift your tailbone towards the sky so your entire low back is in the mat. And then lift one vertebra until you're about mid-spine. And take your block under your sacrum. So it's right in the middle of your low back. So you've got your hip tips on the front, your hip crests on the back, and your sacrum is about, I want to say middle of that kind of area. No, a little lower actually. Anyway, it's in the middle of your low back. It's a diamond shape. And this is a great opportunity if we kind of twist it into the low back trying to hop up, if we've done anything else to the low back that it might not be super thrilled with. This is a great place for it to kind of relax some tension. Press into your feet, lift your seat, and then one notch of the spine, roll all the way back down. Find fallen bridge or Supta Baddha Konasana, whatever feels best in your low back. I do prefer fallen bridge just because it's got really tight SI joints. A lot of people prefer feet together, knees wide for Supta Baddha Konasana, and that's totally, totally okay. That means you're listening to your body, right? Let's find one standard bridge, okay? So walk your feet under your knees. Plant your hands into the earth, low spine into the ground, tilt your tailbone high, and then lift one notch at a time. Once you get to the shoulders, you can leave your hands down, robot arms, you can find a chest expansion, interlace your hands under your back, squeeze your shoulders under you and your biceps towards one another. Find a little more lift with the heart. Hug your inner thighs towards one another, squeeze your heels towards your hands. Inhale one more inch. Exhale, slowly release all the way down to the ground. Hug your knees into your chest and roll side to side. Extend your left leg long. Hug your right knee up and around the rib cage. Flex both feet. Exhale, gentle supine twist. Right knee comes across. Gaze can be over the right hand. You can keep it to the sky. Navel to spine, gently draw your right knee back. Your right hip crest will touch down. Pull your left knee up. Give yourself a spine neutralizing squeeze and hug in. Other side, right leg extends, left knee up and around. Flex the feet. Exhale, supine twist. And gently unwind, left knee up. Right knee meets. Pull it in. And let's find just one brief moment with our legs up the wall. Reversing energy here, reversing blood flow. Feel free to roll the ankles clockwise, counterclockwise. You can close your eyes, absolutely. And pull your knees into your chest. Release into your surrender. Take up space here. Maybe feet are nice and wide, maybe hands are wide, or you can connect your hands to your belly, maybe your heart. Allow yourself to soften, allow your jaw to soften. And allow each exhale to make you feel heavier into the earth, like you were sinking into a comfy bed. If you have time to stay where you are, I do encourage you to. And if your afternoon pulls you forward, begin to make circles with your wrists, one direction and then the other. And gently begin to wiggle your toes, and bend your knees. And as you're ready, you found a little you've awakened just a little. Reach your arms overhead, point your toes away from you. As you press your arms towards the sky, can you roll your shoulders down your back to find a little more opening through the heart? Bend your knees, plant your feet on the ground, and roll onto your favorite side for supported fetal position. And gently, as you're ready, use your top hand to press yourself back up. Leave your eyes closed. Come to an easy seat with hands at heart center. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for doing such an excellent job and giving it your best. I hope you have an excellent, excellent week, and I cannot wait to practice with you again. Namaste.